Flosstube, my name is Erica and I'm here to talk to you about one cross stitch project this week, an amazing haul from a local thrift craft store, and some giveaways. If you're new, I hope you want to hang out for a little bit with me and check out my video today. I will typically talk about life stuff in the beginning, so there's a timestamp below if you want to fast forward directly to the stitching talk. Excuse me, I also have a cold. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I am a day late, hopefully not $1 short. I have been very sick. I'm so sorry. I have water and I'm much better. Coughing is like so annoying to me, like the sound of it. We went to the movies yesterday and I had to stop and get cough syrup on the way there because I was like, I am not going to be that person coughing incessantly in the theater around everybody. And now I'm going to be that person coughing on Flosstube today. So I typically will do my videos on Sundays, but now it's Monday and here we are. My tree is up, yay! And I have the season to be jolly it is Yoda shirt. I love it so much, it's so fun. I love Star Wars. I have not started watching the Star Wars show on Disney Plus yet. I am going to, especially before, not that you don't need to, but I want to be all caught up with everything Star Wars before the new movie comes out on the 20th. My husband's birthday is December 20th, so like every year a Star Wars movie comes out, he goes and sees it by himself on his birthday after the kids are asleep. So that's like his birthday tradition. So here's my $39 Christmas tree. I love it. I think it's well worth the 39 bucks from Walmart. It doesn't have too many ornaments on there yet, but they're all like farming related. And so I have 2 cross stitch ornaments that I have finished, but I need to FFO, story of my life, that will hopefully be up there sometime next week because I have to get my in-laws packages all out and I haven't finished those. So I'll show you. I will get into stitchy talk in just a minute and I'll show you what I've been working on, and it's so close to being done. And then I will, God, Christine's blowing up my phone. I will get into ornament talk as well. So last week was Thanksgiving here in the US. We had a great Thanksgiving. I made a apple pie from scratch for the first time. Not only was it from scratch, but it was also gluten-free. Oh my God. For those of you who have to bake gluten-free, you understand the struggle. Gluten literally means glue and it holds things together. So if you've ever had gluten-free pastries or bread or anything like that, it's very crumbly and dry because it has no gluten in it. And so I used the recipe off of King Arthur Flour's website for a gluten-free pie crust, and I gotta say it turned out pretty dang good. I made it a little bit too thick. It would have been better thin, but I was afraid it was going to start falling apart if I rolled it out too much more. And then the top crust did stick to the wax paper too much, and so when I peeled it off, it was just like in patches, and I just had to put it on whatever. It was not very aesthetically pleasing, but it was delicious. We went and visited Santa at Bass Pro Shops this morning. A friend of mine told me that they go every year, and it's dead, and they get straight in to see Santa, and she was correct. We were there 15 or 20 minutes after they opened, walked right in, saw Santa right away. There was nobody waiting behind us. Santa was so sweet, took his time chatting with my kids. My daughter hid her eyes and face. Like if she's nervous around somebody, she hides her eyes and face, or her eyes and her ears, so she can't hear and she can't see, which means you can't see her. While we were driving there, I knew that she was going to do that. So I asked her, I said, hey, what do you want to ask Santa for Christmas this year? And she said, bananas. That's how she says bananas. That's all she wants is bananas. And then my son, oh my God, Santa asked him, like, so what do you want for Christmas? And he said a fart shooter. He was kind of mumbling over his words because he was like shy and intimidated. So I was like, oh, you want a shooter? And he goes, yeah. And so I don't know if Santa heard the fart part. I don't even know what that is. I don't know why he would say that. He's never said he wanted a fart shooter before. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't want him to be disappointed that Santa didn't bring what he asked for, but I also don't think we can find or make a fart shooter. I don't know. Maybe I'll need to get on crafting that. So that was a good Thanksgiving. We got the tree out that night, decorated everything. The house is done. My husband put up all the Christmas lights yesterday. Saturday was something that I had been looking forward to for weeks. There is a castle here in Colorado Springs called, oh my gosh, I don't remember. Not Manitou Springs, that's where it's at. Oh my gosh, I suck. It's gonna be in the description. Like I said, I've been so sick. I got sick. Went to sleep Monday night feeling off, and I could tell I was gonna wake up feeling sick. I woke up Tuesday, and thank God my husband had a snow day from work, because I could hardly move off the couch. Like, it hit me so hard and so fast, and I was like, I took a 2 or 3 hour nap that afternoon when the kids napped. I slept 10 hours that night. I went to bed at like 9 o'clock. My husband had to do all the meal times, played board games with the kids all day, put them to sleep. I couldn't do it. And I was in pajamas, and then I had my big fluffy robe. I was sleeping with a heating pad between my legs, and then I had a space heater right next to the bed. I was just shivering and freezing and everything. Like, my whole body hurt. And then by Thursday for Thanksgiving, my energy was back to kind of normal, and my body aches were gone. But then I've had this lovely congestion since then. So Saturday, we went to Miramont, maybe that's it, Miramont Castle here in the Springs. That's in Manitou Springs, which is like northwest area, I believe. Very like hipster, artsy, old money type feel to the neighborhood. And it's a 14,000 square foot, 4-story castle that was built in 1895 by a priest and his mama. And I was like, where did this priest get all this money from? And the woman at the front desk was like, it was his widow's, his late wife's money that built the castle. I was like, oh, okay, because I didn't think the priest got paid that much. Unbelievable. So not only is it a Victorian castle, but they decorated it as a Victorian Christmas. I was dead, passed out in the lobby. I was gonna go by myself because I really don't get out of the house very often by myself. But then my son was like, I wanna go. So I was like, okay, I'll bring you. You know, I was a little nervous about how he would do in a place where you're like not supposed to touch anything and you're supposed to be kind of quiet and behave yourself. Well, luckily, kind of, there was a family that got there right before us with 2 kids his age that were not at all well behaved. So it made me feel better in case anything happened with my son, which it didn't. He was so good the whole time. Really enjoyed it. There's pictures on my Instagram, Erica D House, ERICADHOUSE. Lots of pictures of the castle. So freaking beautiful. And my son was just taking it all in. It was so sweet. There was an old phone on the wall, like one that you had to crank, and I was like, hey, guess what that is? Like, he couldn't understand how that was a phone when I held up my iPhone. I was like, this is our phone now. This is what phones were 120 years ago. Where they had Christmas trees in all the rooms. The servant quarters on the very top of the 4th floor were filled with like creepy dolls and dollhouses and stuff. And then there was a gift shop up there. And then there was, I think on the 4th floor, another bedroom that might have been the priest's room because there was like crosses everywhere. And then there was a bathroom that you could use that I guess was his bathroom. So I had to use the bathroom, and it had one of those pull things to flush it. Oh my God, my son pulled it. He must have jumped 2 feet in the air. That thing was so loud. But I have a picture of him and his face, like the shock when he heard it. It was just amazing. Like, I feel like myself again when I get out in the real world and do things like that. And even though I brought my son with me, it still felt just so amazing to get out of the house and do something out of the norm. Like, we do stuff all the time, like we do, but it's always for the kids. Soccer, swim, library, meeting up with friends at playgrounds. Like, we don't really do, like, hey, mom wants to go see this Victorian castle, let's go see that. It was so much fun. So much fun. Oh my gosh. And then last story about this, and then I think I'll get into the cross-stitchy stuff. We get to the gift shop, and the woman that was working there was talking about how all the proceeds, I think, from the gift shop go to this foundation. Excuse me. Every Christmas, they will bring in families that would not otherwise be able to have a Christmas to enjoy a huge Christmas feast. And that's the other thing, is that they put on high teas at this castle. And so across the living room in the castle, we could see a bunch of cute little old ladies in their big hats and dressed up all nice. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cute. So they bring in these families on Christmas Eve, I think, and give them a big Christmas dinner. And then Santa comes and gives presents to all the kids. And she said one year, going to cry saying the story, so heads up. One year, all the kids write their list and all the parents write down what they need from Santa for the year. And a girl asked for oatmeal. That's all that she wanted, was something to eat, and her favorite food was oatmeal. And so the woman said this was her first year when volunteering there that year, and when Santa came and brought her a stocking full of oatmeal. And she said that little girl was like beyond the moon, so happy. Santa brought me oatmeal, and running around. And then so every year since then, all the kids get a little thing of oatmeal in their stockings in honor of her. I was like, that is so sweet. Speaking of which, I need to go and try to find an angel tree. Every year we try to get a couple names off of a tree to get some of the kids' presents. I haven't seen one yet, so I need to actually ask in some local groups if anyone's seen one. I think that'll do it for Life Talk. We're at 11 minutes. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. It's been a good week. I'm so happy again. I was a little depressed last week. I mean, I don't want to say I'm not clinically depressed, but just really down, and I think it might have just been the sickness. Like, we've had a rough 2 months here. We have never been this sick in our whole lives. And then starting around my birthday, October of last month was October, the middle of last month, we had the stomach flu, and then my daughter had the croup, and my son had the weird rash, and then we were okay for like 2 weeks, and then I got a cold. My daughter has had some weird eye thing going on, whatever. For Thanksgiving, we all said what we were grateful for. My daughter said, Dada. My son said all the things I got. That was really sweet. I said everyone being healthy, happy, and living in Colorado and not Alaska. I still am grateful every day that we're not living in their state anymore. And then my husband said something ridiculous. I don't know, football and bathrooms or something. Who knows? God. Okay, so this is pretty much all I worked on this week. I think this is all I worked on this week. I was trying to think if I worked on the ornaments at all, and I don't think I did. Christmas Sentiments by Stony Creek. No, I did not stitch Tuesday or Wednesday at all. I was, like, that's my gauge for how sick I am now. I was so sick I couldn't even stitch, which is saying a lot. My sons, they're watching Bluey. If you guys haven't seen Bluey yet on Disney, it is amazing. It is so sweet and funny and heartfelt. It is a great cartoon. We love watching it as a family. Christmas Sentiments. So close to a finish. Eek. Ooh. There we go. I think all I have left to do is the back stitching. The birds have like vines in their mouth. Back stitching there, and then snowflakes here. And like, that's it. And then the beads, and we'll talk about those beads in a second. So I've already done all the small gold beads. You can see in between every red. There was also this zigzag white thing underneath here. I don't think it needs it. It doesn't add anything to the design. So I'm just doing it like this. It finishes at about an 8 by 12. Excuse me. And they have 8 by 12 frames on Amazon. So I'm going to try to order one of those today probably. They had a white distressed one, which I didn't really like 100% love, but it's gonna be nice enough. You guys, this red, it's called Threadworks Bleeding Hearts. It is one of the most beautiful reds I've ever seen, and the variegation in it. And so this bird right here, I accidentally did 4 spaces too high, so I had to rip him out and do them all over again. But I love it. Okay, so the beading. Please, if anybody knows how to do this, let me know, because I have watched tutorials and I still am not getting it right. There's 2 red stars that are supposed to be on the top of each Christmas tree. Of course, my camera's not gonna focus enough. Oh, look how pretty. You see that? Oh my gosh. So the hole goes straight up from the top. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see. There's a hole that goes from the top to all the way to the back. How on earth do I attach this to the fabric? Because when I'm trying, it's either not laying flat or it's not even staying at all. And I watched a tutorial on YouTube and they used a bead. I don't want to have to put a bead on top of the star to get it to stay. Like, I mean, I will if I have to, if that's the only way to do it, but I really would prefer not to, if possible. So if you guys know how to attach treasures, Mill Hill treasures, that are top drilled, they're not side or anything like that, just top down, please let me know. Or if there's a tutorial that you've watched, like, just link it below. Okay. I went to Who Gives a Scrap Monday of last week. I had a doctor's appointment, a follow-up from my cardiologist, who said, you know, everything looks fine, but if you start having episodes of high elevated heart rate, we should put an implant in your chest. That'll last for 3 years. That can monitor your heart activity. I said, please don't. I'll never forget when I first got braces on, crying in the shower that night because I was like, oh my God, this stuff's gonna be stuck on my face for like 2 years and nothing I can ever do will change it. And I just wanted it out of me. And that's how I feel like if somebody were to put, God, I'm making like the weirdest faces and it's gonna end up being my screen grab. I know it. Okay. The hospital was a couple minutes away from Who Gives a Scrap. So we hopped on over there, and their cross-stitch selection is always very dated. Like, they don't really get, if they do, I never see it, new stuff in. But, you know, you search through it and you can find some gems. And so I'm just going to show a couple of the things that I got. This is just cross-stitch 1994. And there's something, ooh, okay. So I posted this on Instagram and I had a lot of people respond to this. It is a Jewish design by Barbara Ann Richter. And I can't remember what it says. It's the Hebrew word Mizrach. I hope I'm not butchering how that's pronounced. It's just beautiful. And the picture, of course, is not going to do it justice. It's got beading and I think maybe even some gold thread, like Kreinik in there. I love it. So my plan is to stitch this and then give it away because I know I have spoken to people in the cross-stitch community, and the amount of Hanukkah designs to, like, not that this is Hanukkah, but just Jewish designs in general are very, 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 very slim, just like other minorities. Like, I've never seen a Kwanzaa cross-stitch design. Like, I'm sure that they exist, but it's just, excuse me, it's very predominantly Christian. And this is such a beautiful design, and I don't know if you can get it anywhere outside of this magazine, so I am absolutely going to give this away after I stitch it at some point. It might not be anytime soon, but I have to stitch it. It's beautiful, blue and gold. Are you serious? I gotta do it. The finished size on 28 count, the stitch is 98 by 124. There's Kreinik. There's blue and copper. Oh my God, it's gonna be so pretty. Okay, so that's the first magazine that I got. And I didn't even really, because I have my kids with me when I go. So once again, if you shop with kids, you know that you don't have the leisurely time to just sit there and peruse things and look through things. No, I just grab everything that looks remotely interesting and I go. Because this one was $1, but most of the magazines I think are 25 cents. So this is Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. 1994 again. Ooh, and here, the very first page is the one that I liked. It's called the Cardinal Sampler. Isn't that pretty also? I love the lettering and those cardinals, like 100% stitching this. It's all in DMC, but I might jazz it up a little bit. Like the red, I would probably use the Bleeding Hearts that's in my Christmas sentiments, just because I have so much of that left over. I love it. Oh, sorry. I was like looking at the pattern. You guys can't even see what. Very, very pretty. Two more things. This is Cross Stitch Christmas from 2001. Better Homes and Gardens. Ooh, I like this one too, and I had a lot of people on Instagram say that they like this. Look at this freaking country Santa. Everything, look at the face. Like, a lot of times faces on people and Santas are just kind of weird and not done right. He's beautiful. And look, he's got a little cardinal. There's a squirrel and a basket of apples, and he's got a freaking popcorn chain. I love it. I love it. I thought about maybe doing a color conversion because it's not very traditional Christmas colors, and that's okay. But I think I might just stitch it as is, like with all the blue. And I think it's beautiful. So I will definitely be stitching that at some point. And there was a lot of really good ones in this one. And then last but not least, I am often on eBay looking for antique samplers. I really would like to reproduce more samplers. I mean, the cross stitch is not a lost art anymore. It's very much a found art, and everyone is cross stitching now, it seems. But there are cross stitch pieces that I don't want to be lost in time. Like, imagine how many cross stitch samplers are just sitting in little grandma's attics all over the US, and they might never see the light of day again, or they might just be donated or, God forbid, trashed when these people pass away. Like, I would like to save some and reproduce them and let other people stitch them and enjoy them. But this is a pattern that I have seen a couple times while looking for antique samplers, and this is not antique, it's vintage. It's from 1981. But I was so excited because I recognized it because I see it often on eBay. This beautiful Merry Christmas from Ann Powell. And again, I'm thinking of doing some of this in Kreinik. Like, how pretty would that be? A very shimmery, glistening sign. Now, I don't know if I could do all the Merry Christmas in Kreinik because Kreinik kind of sucks. But I thought maybe the holly I could do, and even like all the back stuff, all the green, and then the red berries. I could even beat the red berries and then just do Merry Christmas, maybe my bleeding hearts. It's big. I don't even know if it says. Flash pattern. It doesn't give a, holy cow, it gives a finish size on 29 count. They have 18, 21, and 29. I don't know what y'all did in the 80s, but we don't have those counts now. So the closest one, I guess 29 count, would be 13 by 6. All right, that's not awful. It might be kind of a quick stitch. Oh my gosh, the pattern is hand drawn. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I love it. Aww. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to flash it. Okay, real fast before I get into giveaways and shop updates. I have no chill. My mom said something about my dad having no chill yesterday, and I was like, I know he doesn't. This is where I get it from. I can't just say like, oh, I really like cross stitch now. Like, I should get back into cross stitch. I'm gonna say I'm gonna do Flosstube. I'm gonna open a cross stitch store. I'm gonna design cross stitch, and I'm gonna do cross stitch for like 40 hours a week on top of everything else that I do. I can't just do something a little bit, which is good and bad. So my latest thing now is Victorian era. I've talked about this before. I got really into watching like Victorian Farm, Victorian Christmas. You guys, please be nice. I'm almost done, okay? We're gonna go for a nice long walk today. My husband finally fixed my stroller. It's supposed to be like 57. I'm hoping to walk like 5 miles because these kids need to get some fresh air. Very into the Victorians. And now I want to buy a Victorian dollhouse and pimp it out. Like, ornate all the furnishings and all the little tiny details, like all 100% replica Victorian, like 1895. Like, not early Victorian, but even better if I could find a Victorian farmhouse. So I was looking at dollhouses on Amazon this morning. Oh my gosh, you guys, please stop or we're not going to go for our walk. We are going to go for our walk. I don't know why I said that. I try not to give them empty threats. That would just punish me if we didn't go for our walk. Many moons ago, when I was single and had all this free time, I did buy a dollhouse kit from like Michael's with a 40% off coupon, and I put it together and I started painting some of it, and it looked awful. I am not very artistic. I will say that I am creative, but I'm not artistic, and there is a big difference. My husband's artistic. He has painted beautiful things. I can't. I draw stick figures, and I paint with like one color at a time. I can't blend things. Like, it's just bad. And so I think that was the issue with the dollhouse. It was like I painted it, and it just looked like a second grade art project. So I might try again, and maybe even enlist the help of my husband and say like, hey, can you please help me paint this to be like, a replica Victorian farmhouse or something. He'll probably say no, and then he'll do it anyways because that's what he does. So yeah, I'm kind of looking at that, like how cool would it be? And then I would keep it in my room, and then anytime my kids would come in here, I'd have to yell at them like, "Don't touch it! It's not a toy, it's mommy's." So that would be fun. So shop news. Because I was so sick, I was not able to work at all Tuesday or Wednesday. Thanksgiving night, I think I did finally get to cutting and ironing. And so I am a couple days behind, which I have never been behind like this before. Like 2 days. Like things that were supposed to go out Saturday are going out today. By Wednesday, I could theoretically be caught up with all outstanding orders. So if you have an order outstanding with me, I'm so sorry. I'm trying my best. I have a huge stack to go out today. Like this is what I've worked on in the last 2 days. And I've got 5 more to do today, and then these are all going out this afternoon after nap time because I work through my kids' nap time. So people are still ordering Halloween, which I love. I like my bags to match my stitching, and so people that stitch Halloween all year need Halloween bags. Alice in Wonderland with the metallic Alice fabric. Frozen. Oh my gosh. Okay, we went and saw Frozen 2 yesterday. Best movie in the history of movies. Okay, that's a slight exaggeration, but it was so good. So good. I would 100% go back and see it by myself without my kids. It was my daughter's first time going to the movies. She did great. My husband was more nervous than I was that the kids wouldn't sit still. I'm like, you don't understand. When Frozen goes on TV, these kids sit still for 2 freaking hours. They'll be fine. Okay. Beauty and the Beast. I just wanted to show some. I don't usually show bags that aren't new. Look at how pretty that is. And the stained glass, like batik. The Grinch. This is also really fun one. We're going to watch this with my kids soon. This and Polar Express, because we got a secret train ride that they don't know about that we're going on. Oh, more Grinch. More Grinch. Mickey Mouse. Mickey Christmas. Oh, it's so cute. I get to start planning fast passes soon for our trip. It's crazy. It's coming up in February. And then Santa with all the confetti. I don't know why it's not moving as much. Anyways, look how cute. It's a hard time focusing. So, my shop is linked below if anybody would like to check it out. I appreciate it. I have all these different kinds of project bags. I have, I think, like 20 different kinds of project bags. And then I also have some cross-stitch patterns. Like, actually, let me go grab it because I haven't showed this in a while either. Okay, you saw my dirty holy pants. They drive my husband insane. Trash those pants, they got holes all over them. I'm like, I don't care, they're comfortable, and I hate buying clothes. So this is a 1929 sampler that I reproduced, not sampler, pattern that I reproduced. I still need to put either my first name or our last name there. I don't know. But I loved the colors of it. And that freaking peacock and the bunny just got me. So this is in my shop too, available as either a PDF or printed. And the frame I just got at Hobby Lobby. I think I'm not even gonna pretend like I know what size it is. I'm guessing 8 by 10 actually. And it fits it pretty well. Like it could be a little bit better, a little bit less space on the top and bottom. But for not having to get a custom frame, I'm all right with this. There you go. Okay. So those are shop updates. Now I have 2 giveaways. Also, the person who won the cherry quilt hasn't responded. I should have written down their name. I'm so sorry. But I'm going to give them this last one more week, and then I'll pick another winner for it. So these are 2 that I got from Who Gives a Scrap, and I like them because they're very unique. I haven't seen a whole lot of stuff like this before. This first one is called Wild and Free. If you would like to win this, just say something about animals, plural, animals. That's the word that I'm going to look for. And it is very realistic. Giraffes and panda bears. I like the birds too. They got little koalas. Let me see. Yeah, everything in here is just a straight pattern. So sorry you can't see. Oh, there's some. Look at the, is that a gorilla? Oh, mommy gorilla with the baby on her back right there. So if you would, oh, look at the dolphins. Where's those whales? I don't know. If you would like to stitch, just say something about animals. And then this one I really liked too. If you would like to stitch this, say something about angels. Again, plural, A-N-G-E-L-S. Not angles, we're not talking geometry, angels. And I like this because the very first one on the cover is this beautiful Native American angel with a wolf. I thought that was very unique. And then there's all these other angel patterns in here as well. So if you would like to stitch this one, just say you would like to stitch the angels, or something with the word angels. Angels, animals. Okay, so I think that's it. I spent 2 hours yesterday baking for my husband. Every year he asks me to make fudge and Nutella cheesecake to bring into work because it makes him look like the cool guy bringing sugar for everybody, I guess. We do, it's cookies and cream fudge. It's so good and so easy. It's just white chocolate, condensed milk, a little bit of vanilla, and Oreos. And so I made one batch with Oreos, and then I made one batch with gluten-free Oreos so I could have some. And then also, on the off chance anyone in his office has celiac disease, I was like, Travis, you don't understand how excited someone would get if somebody brought in treats and they were clearly labeled gluten-free. Like, they don't get that. Like, anytime I go to something for like a potluck or a barbecue, like, I know I'm not going to be able to eat pretty much anything as a gluten-free vegetarian. And that's okay. It's my thing to deal with. But I was like, trust me, if there's anybody in your office that has celiac disease, they are going to be thrilled. And even if people don't have celiacs, they taste exactly like the regular fudge. If you guys have ever seen the Glutino Oreos in your store, they taste just as good as regular Oreos, I think. And then we make, or I made, he didn't make it, Nutella cheesecake squares with a homemade graham cracker crust, and then cheesecake, and then you line Nutella, and then you use a knife to make this really pretty swirl. Oh my god. Pretty bummed I couldn't taste those because of the graham crackers, but hopefully everyone loves them. I always cut them really big. And last year my husband was like, please cut them smaller because, like, you only made 9 pieces of cheesecake. Like, cut them in half so we can have more, so other people can have them, and whatever. I'll cut them in little baby bite size. I don't eat like that. I want a big piece of cheesecake. All right, we're going to get going. I need to start, excuse me, planning our Disney trip more. Yes, it's almost time for us to pick our fast passes. And I've been working with my Disney travel agent, just my best friend Christine. And Disney travel agents are free, okay? Let me just give this spiel real fast, and I'll put her email down below. If you use a Disney travel agent, you pay nothing extra, and they will still get you the absolute best deals possible on hotels, on airfare, on Disney tickets, on everything. They just get a commission off of what you buy. She doesn't get a commission off of military tickets, but I think maybe regular rate tickets she does, and hotels, and maybe airfare. And she's been to Disney so many times. Like, she knows exactly, like, where to go, to do what, to do when, what the crowds are like, what parks are the best on what days, where to stand for the parades that you get the best views and you don't have to get there an hour early, everything. And so she's been helping me, like, you know, tell me what your kids are into and I'll write your itinerary for you. And it's so freaking helpful because it's very overwhelming planning this trip. So if you guys are at all interested in a Disney vacation, like I said, I'll put her email below, and just shoot her an email and say, hey, this is when we're thinking of going. Like, you know, if you want some quotes on what it would cost, especially if you're military, you can get insane deals. Our hotel is like 30% off regular rate. I showed my husband the hotel this week. I was like, have you seen the hotel we're staying at? Because I'm paying for all of it with the money that I make off the Etsy shop. And he's like, no. So I sent him a screenshot of the hotel listing on the Disney website, and it had the room rate on there. And he's like, how are you paying for this? And I was like, I work all the time. Like, he doesn't understand how hard I work because I only work when the kids are napping or at night when they're asleep. So he doesn't see it. Like, he hears it, but he doesn't see me working. And so I think for him, it's hard to understand. And plus, he also doesn't really see the money. Like, I pay for some bills, like my car, some of the kids' activities, my gas, just my prescriptions every month, like stuff like that. Like, he doesn't see the money come in, and he doesn't see the money go out, and he doesn't really see me working. So it's kind of like bewildering to him when all of a sudden he's like, how did you pay for this? I'm like, I work all the time. I've been saving for months also for this trip. I've been paying on it since like September, maybe. It's 4 months. So that's how I work, or how I pay for things. Anyways, okay, we are gonna get going. Sorry the video was a day late. I hope you guys are okay with that. I really try to get there on every Sunday. It was just hard this week because we were at the movies at 9 a.m. yesterday. So it really wasn't possible for me to do one beforehand. I mean, I guess I could have woken up at 6 a.m., but I'm trying to get really good rest, since I've been sick. And it was just a very busy day. Like, I've been catching up on cleaning, and we got all the Christmas decorating, and then my shop's been behind, but it's going to be caught up. Like I said, by Wednesday, I could theoretically have every single outstanding order done. Thursday at the latest. But the bulk of them are going out today and tomorrow, so I'm very excited for that. So I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving if you're in the U.S. Thanks for hanging out with me again this week. I always love it, and I really appreciate everyone who likes the video and subscribes and comments. Hope you enter the giveaways. If you're not following me on Instagram, I'd love to see you over there, Erica D House. It'll also be linked below, and I will check in with you guys next week.